come down to Milner Fields because of history about myths and legends. Come on, let's go have a look. Here on the outskirts of Bingley are the ruins of a mansion that was built by Sir Titus Salt's family. This is all that's left. So you can see the mosaics that are still here. And the spooky ruins of the house. So I'm going to tell you a story about another city that's famous for its ruins. And it's set in Rome. This story is called Vesuvius Poovius. Let me get it out. It was another pongy day in stinky Rome. Soldiers gasped on their way to war. Children fainted on their way to school. Everyone hurried on, as fast as they could, trying to get away from the whiff of the unmentionable. Okay, I'll mention it. The whiff of poo. Poo was a big problem in ancient Rome because no one knew what to do with it. Some people hid it under the carpet. Other people dropped it down a well. Some people even dropped it into other people's pockets when they weren't looking. Poo was not only a problem in ancient Rome, it was a forbiddenous wordus. To save his wife's blushes, the emperor had decreed that no one was allowed to say the whiffy word. You must think of nicer words to say, delightful words like marzipan or strawberries or jewels. Any citizen of Rome who utters the unmentionable word will be chopped up into little pieces and fed to my dogs. I did a couple of huge daffodils last night, said Numerous to us. I did a couple of big honeybees this morning, said Lewis Bluus. What did you do with yours? Said Numerous to us. I threw mine over Vesuvius Poovius's fence. Me too, said Numerous to us. He'll never notice. Indeed, Vesuvius Poovius hadn't noticed. He was far too busy with his slide rule and crayons. Vesuvius Poovius was a Roman inventor, and for many years he'd been trying to solve the problem of the unmentionables. He had tried the stomping effect, but flatter and wider was no solution at all. He had tried the catapult principle, but that only lobbed the problem somewhere else. Vesuvius Poovius had tried all sorts of things, but now, for the first time, he really believed he was onto something. A new idea had come to him the night before. He was lying in bed listening to the rain and wondering how moles disposed of their jelly beans, when a lightning flash lit up the sky. Vesuvius sat up and stared at the rain. Tunnels, he cried. Tunnels and rain. That's it. I will build a system of tunnels beneath Rome, and I will build a rainwater flushing system for flushing away the unmentionables. It wasn't just clever. It was Vesuvius Poovius genius. He wrote a letter to the emperor straight away. Dear Emperor, I bring great news. After many years of examining the problem of daffodils, I am pleased to tell you that I have cracked it. Sugar lumps, fairy cakes and custard creams will no longer be the curse of ancient Rome. I have designed a new jam tart disposal system. It can dispose of rosebuds, budgerigars, nightingales and even chocolate custard. You must come and see it Even better, try it. Vesuvius read the letter back to himself and then screwed it up. It didn't make one jot of sense. If the Emperor read it, he'd probably be arrested and thrown into prison for being mad. He might even end up as dog food. He needed a different plan. He sucked his pen, thought very hard, and wrote another letter. This time it was very short, but very clever. Vesuvius read the letter to himself and smiled. 2 good ideas in one night. I'm on a roll. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Emperor, please come to my birthday party on Tuesday, 4 till 5. Love, Vesuvius Unmentionablus. All week, Vesuvius busied himself preparing for the visit of the Emperor and his wife. He was just blowing up the last party balloon when he heard a knock at the door. Vesuvius looked at his sundial. 4 o'clock already. The Emperor and his wife are here. The Emperor and his wife strode in wearing golden party hats. Happy birthday, Vesuvius, they cried. Where's the party tea? Vesuvius pointed to the lounge. Tuck in, he smiled. There's prune cocktail, sheep's eye dumpling, eel jelly, frog burgers, beetle pizza, snail squash, crow soup, and lots more. The Emperor and his wife loved a good feast and dived in straight away. Not hungry, Vesuvius? Said the Emperor with a mouth full of fish crisps. Not really, said Vesuvius, with a shudder. These sugared snails are delicious, grunted the Emperor's wife. This is my 14th. Munch by munch, slurp by slurp, and belch by belch. The Emperor and his wife worked their way through the tummy-curdling lot. Finally, with another burp and a grunt, they flopped out on the sofa in a heap. Vesuvius, said the Emperor, that was the finest party I've ever had. Yes, said the Emperor's wife with a belch. Such a nice change from hen's beaks in breadcrumbs. I'm pleased you enjoyed it, said Vesuvius. Can I get you something else? There's honeyed hedgehogs in the larder. The Emperor raised his thumb, but then shifted slightly in his seat. He lowered his hand and placed it on his huge balloon of a belly. On second thoughts, Vesuvius, I think I'll pass. Not for me either, said the Emperor's wife, who had begun to look rather green. The Emperor's tummy gurgled loudly. He nudged his wife. I think I'm going to explode, he whispered. Me too, she squeaked. Would you like an after-dinner sheep's eye? Asked Vesuvius mischievously. The Emperor squirmed. Some squid ink tea, perhaps, smiled Vesuvius. The Emperor's wife wriggled uncomfortably. We really couldn't, she gasped. The Emperor's tummy rumbled like a stampeding rhinoceros. His toga shook, and the candles fell off Vesuvius's birthday cake. Vesuvius did the polite thing and pretended not to notice. The Emperor's wife's tummy gurgled like a blocked drain. She placed both hands under her bottom and squirmed like an eel. She wasn't green anymore, she was white. Her eyes were bulging and her lips were pinched tight. Her husband placed a cushion over his belly as another thunderous rumble shook a mosaic from the wall. The Emperor's ears began to throb and his bottom began to tremble. Vesuvius, he groaned. I'm awfully sorry, but I very much need to do We positively have to do a cola cube, squealed his wife. A sugared mouse, gasped the Emperor. Vesuvius smiled politely. I'm sorry, I don't understand, he said. The Emperor and his wife leapt up from the sofa. Oh, poo, Vesuvius, screamed the Emperor. We need to do a poo. Quick, follow me, said Vesuvius. The Emperor and his wife dashed out of the lounge and followed Vesuvius down the hallway. Use these, said Vesuvius, pointing to two gleaming marble seats. The Emperor and his wife were in too much of a hurry to ask questions. They lifted up their togas and dived for the seats. Vesuvius went back to the lounge to clear up the party plates. He was halfway through the washing up when the Emperor and his wife bounced into the kitchen and slapped him on the back. Vesuvius, your invention it's marvellous, it's fabulous, it's incredibulous. What is it? I have called it the Vesuvius Poovius Luvius. Oh, Lou for short, he smiled. Get the honeyed hedgehogs out, said the Emperor. And the squids in tea, said his wife. We want to have another go. And go they did. The next day the Emperor decreed that every villa in Rome was to be fitted with Vesuvius's new invention. Vesuvius became a national hero. His birthday became a Roman holiday, and everywhere he went, he was carried shoulder high. In fact, even today, some people still leave their loo seat up as a salute to Vesuvius Poovius.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that story about Rome. Why don't you find out about the myths and legends here at Milner Fields in Bingley? Well, I best get back now. Bye!